If you haven't worked something out, you will act it out. Let me say that again. It's really important. I want to talk to you about a pattern of abuse, actually, that occurs in abusive relationships. It's very, very concerning, and you can learn about it. It's called the cycle of abuse. It's something that anyone who is in an abusive relationship really needs to understand, this cycle of abuse, what it looks like, becoming familiar with it so that you understand what's going on, and then learning about intervention. I'm Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute, where we treat abusive individuals and victims of emotional abuse. And I am learning all the time about narcissistic and emotional abuse. What is the cycle of emotional abuse? What does it look like? Well, we've known about the cycle of abuse for a long time. It comes out of the field of domestic violence. And of course, emotional abuse is a form of domestic violence. What's the cycle of abuse, though? And how can you recognize it? How can you identify it? And then, thankfully, what can be done to intervene? The cycle of abuse has 4 phases to it. Let's talk about each phase. Phase 1 is tension building. Tension building. You can feel it. You know, and I'm going to use the pronoun he. It can be perpetrated by women as well. It can be perpetrated by friends. It can be perpetrated by anyone. But I'm going to say he in this instance. Tension begins to build. Why does tension begin to build? Well, quite simply, it builds because he has not learned how to identify his feelings. He has not learned how to process frustration. And so he acts his frustration out. What we see in our men's core treatment group is, if you haven't worked something out, you will act it out. Let me say that again. It's really important. What you don't work out, what you don't process, you will act out. All right. So now we've got this man, and he experiences tension. Not unusual, right? Not unusual to experience tension. You can have tension from work. You can have tension from the dog. You can have tension from bills. You can have tension from home care, any number of places where tension occurs. But tension doesn't have to build. Tension doesn't have to build. You can process tension. You can go to the gym and work it out. You can talk it out. You can journal it out. Any number of ways, but you have to identify the tension. You have to process the tension, and we have to be working things out all the time, but not so with him. Tension is building. That's step 1. Step 2, the eruption. The eruption. He gets angry. He shouts, he spouts, he intimidates, he makes threats, he makes other forms, he talks over you because he's frustrated. And so he acts it out. He doesn't work it out, he doesn't process it out. There's an eruption of some kind, and he hurts you in the process. Step 3, the abuser then apologizes. It's not really a sincere apology. It's not a good apology. I'm sorry your feelings were hurt. I'm sorry if I said anything that bothered you. It's really a shallow and weak apology, but there is this time when he at least feigns being sorry, and he may even shower the victim with love and affection. And that's where there's that cognitive dissonance, because he says in different ways, I love you, I'd do anything for you, except for really change and really understand and grow and offer a sincere, heartfelt apology that leads to behavioral change. He won't do that. There is some kind of honeymoon. Now notice what I'm saying here. Some kind of honeymoon, not a good honeymoon phase. He promises it won't happen again. He perhaps showers you with love and affection. Maybe I've got some men who use their charm. Oh, come on. It's not all that bad. It's not a big deal. Come on, let it go. Okay. This honeymoon phase where you actually might also be lulled into thinking oh, maybe I do need to just forgive and forget. And so he promises it will never happen again. You would like to believe that. You'd like to believe that change is on its way. He makes half-hearted efforts to change, and you start to believe them. And now you move into phase four, which is step four, which is calm. Oh, we're now moving into calm. And you'd like to believe that this is where it's going to stay, right? Calm. It's not. It's not going to stay this way, because what's going to happen back to step one? That's why we call it a cycle. Tension will begin to build again. Why does tension build? Because there's tension in life. Bills come in the mail. It happens. The dog barks. Kids leave toys laying around. There's stuff that happens, folks. And mature people learn how to process frustrations. But an abusive individual who is emotionally immature hasn't learned how to process troubling situations and frustrating situations. And so tension builds again, then there's an eruption, then there's a honeymoon phase, then there's the calm, and that happens again and again and again. Real quick, like, folks, what is the antidote to all of this? Well, number one, I want you to understand this is a cycle and it will happen again without, if there isn't an intervention. What's an intervention? It means during the calm times, sitting down and really analyzing what is going on and what needs to change. He needs to be in issue specific therapy. In all likelihood, he needs to grow emotionally. He needs to develop frustration and distress tolerance. He needs to learn how to process feelings and emotions in a healthy way. And after he's done some of that work, maybe there's some couples work that needs to be done at the right time in the right way. But what I really want you to hear is this cycle will occur again. And what is needed is intervention. If you want some help with that, we are happy to help. Please click on the link to subscribe to future videos. Contact us if we can be of any help in determining a path forward. And as always, I want to hear your comments on this. Take care and God bless. I'll talk to you again soon.